Second at Thirsk last time out, not beaten far, drops back to the minimum distance this afternoon, but was successful over 5 furlongs at Newcastle earlier on in the year.
11 behind is Dark Kestrel, a 6-time winner overall in his career. He was a winner at Newcastle back in March. 3 starts since, one on the turf when 4th of 6th at Pontefract. That was 21 days ago, and that was a decent run, beaten just 2.5 lengths.
And that's all of them for now in the paddock, ahead of our 4 o'clock.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, a few more runners to contend with for this one, which is a bit of a refreshing sight, really. It's the Annie Oxterby Memorial Handicap, Oxterby, I should say. A Class 5, 0 to 70, 4-year-olds and above. Glory Hyde, in good form, was a winner at Weatherby last time out. Has been raised £3 in the weights, is the market leader, 3 to 1. Without Floor, Warren Fenterman and Tina Jackson teaming up, 11 to 2. Then we have Tangent, 6 to 1. Hover on the Wind is 15 to 2. Dandy Dinmont the same, looking to bounce back to form, but Nigel Tinkler has been in winning form today at Beverley with that very nice juvenile in the making. Ronson earlier on. Then we have Sherlock, capable of smarter form than this in the past, has been seen in a fair bit of action on the all-weather over the course of the winter. Fuji Mountain, 10 to 1. Zach Wheatley and Declan Carroll teaming up with that one. Went pretty close 2 starts ago at Pontefract, beating a short head. Not quite so potent a force at this track last time out. Then we have Jojo Rabbit, 11 to 1. Jimmy Sullivan for Ruth Carr, one of the veterans of the race, 8 years old. Miss Brazen, a winner last time out at Nottingham. And quite an emphatic winner that day. Quite a big price, I would say, at 14 to 1. Despite that £5 rise in the weights, at least she comes here in decent nick. And that was a return to form after some time of being in the doldrums. Then we have Dark Kestrel, the outsider of the party at 20 to 1. Biawa was taken out earlier on. Actually would have had a chance as well. Biawa was a winner last time, but it doesn't go. 10, though, do go to post. And Glory Hyde is the 3 to 1 market leader. Did bounce back to form in no uncertain terms last time, following a period of pretty poor efforts. Was beaten a fairway at Doncaster, beaten 3 lengths, 5th of 9 at Wolverhampton, beaten 12th of 14 at Nottingham before that. But it was a completely different proposition, wasn't she, at Weatherby last time, over 5.5 furlongs, and is half a furlong shorter in trip today over the Flying 5 at Beverley. 3rd race in a row over that distance on the card, this being a handicap. Previous 2 weren't. And former course and distance winner in the past is Glory Hyde, so these conditions clearly suit. Interesting to see how this time marries up with the other 2 over the same trip, because there has been a little bit of rain over the course of the last half an hour or so. That may or may not make a difference to the ground. We shall see. Had been the case earlier in the campaign last time. This was a good performance, I thought, to win nicely. This was over 5.5 furlongs at Weatherby. And she does drop back half a furlong in trip today, but she travelled with an enormous amount of zest this day. Had dropped down the weights to a mark of 62, certainly capable of better than that at her very best. Was a little bit keen, actually, in the early part of the race, but in the end, found plenty for pressure and saw off, among others, Without Floor, who actually finished 3rd for the Tina Jackson team, who does reoppose today on slightly better terms as well. She's been dropped £2 in the weights from that 61 to 59. Glory Hyde is up £3. There is a £5 swing there for Without Floor, but in the end, on the far side rail, Glory Hyde was a fairly comprehensive winner this day, and it was nice to see for Connections because it was the first good run for quite some time. And you can see when the horse on the outside comes to her, she finds plenty in the closing stages to win nicely. Chris Dixon has caught up with Without Floor as trainer, Tina Jackson.
Yeah, Tina Jackson kind enough to just come over for a quick word ahead of Without Floor's 2nd run of the campaign at a track, Tina, where she's got a really good record.
Yeah, she likes it here. Seems to like the stiff 5 furlongs. She's got a good draw, so no, hopeful.
And were you happy with that return to action at Weatherby? You must have been.
Yes, she's probably been a little bit keen, hasn't she? And but yeah, she's probably just found it out a little bit over the last furlong, got a little bit tired. But yeah, you have to be happy with that.
Yeah, it's 5.5 there, I suppose, at Wetherby, isn't it? And you do climb late on as well, so maybe just stretched her?
That's it, and she's on a higher mark. I mean, she started the season well last year, but she has gone up in the weights. But the handicap has given her £2 back, and we've got Warren's claim off, so yeah, we're a little bit better off with the weights with Roger's horse, so yeah, hopeful.
Excellent season last year, so you're probably not starting this year with them quite so well treated as you did.
No, definitely. I have a little bit of pressure on. I've got to, you sort of try to do similar things, but yeah, it is different. It's been quite cold with us, and some of them aren't ready to run, and you've just got to keep doing what you normally do, and there's a few of them are starting to look well, but it's just been a little bit slow this year. I think the weather, we live on the east coast there next to the sea, and I think it maybe just slowed a few of them down a little bit, but I think another few weeks and hopefully it's going to warm up.
Yeah, it was a really good year last year, so you've got horses that are capable once you get them right and the weather turns.
That's it, you know, like you say, there's a few of them starting off at a higher mark, but they've still been competitive as without flaws shown, so, and there's a couple of new faces, and so no, we're hopeful of another good season.
Yeah. Well, best of luck, Tina. I hope she runs well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm definitely slower in the cold as well, Tina. I know how your horses feel. This is the 4 o'clock. The Annie Oxtoby Memorial Handicap. It's over 5 furlongs, and there is very little movement, really, in the market. Glory Hyde remains 3-1 at the top. Tangent has been a little bit of support for that one. This daughter of Cody Bear. Tim used to be David Allen. 13-2 and 11-2. Without flaw, Tina's representative, 6-1. Danny Dinmont is 13-2. Nibbled At from 15-2. Hover on the Wind is 8-1. 9-1 for Sherlock. Fuji Mountain 10s, as is Jojo Rabbit. 14s Miss Brazen. And Dark Kestrel 20-1. Let's get final thoughts from Chris and Amy.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, the last of them arriving down at the start then for our 4 o'clock. 3 minutes until the scheduled off time. Old hands that hopefully well enough behaved down at the start to get us off to time here as well. Let's go back to the horse at the top of the market, Glory Hyde for Roger Fell and Kevin Stott. They teamed up with a winner yesterday afternoon at Catterick, and Glory Hyde won at Wetherby on her most recent start, just holding on in a tight finish from True Promise and one of today's rivals Without Flaw. She's in good form and seems to have a sound chance again from a nice draw, Amy.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Yard's obviously been amongst the winners. Lately, they've had a good season so far. Winner yesterday at Catterick, and Glory Hyde comes this in really good form. A 4-time winner from 32 starts overall, and back to winning ways on her 3rd start this season when winning 16 days ago at Wetherby over the 5.5 furlongs on quick ground. So obviously the 5 here with a stiff finish will be no issue whatsoever, the fact that she obviously stays further. And like you said, she beat True Promise on that occasion, who came sort of fast and late, but I thought that Glory Hyde showed a really good attitude late on when challenged. Without Flaw, 3 lengths back in 3rd, so those rear pose here today. But yeah, Glory Hyde's in good form, and I thought she showed a good attitude last time.
And she is a course and distance winner in the past, so we know that this track suits her well, and she has won off higher marks here previously, so handicapping wise she is capable. Without Flaw does get a pull at the weights, dropped £2 for that run last time out. That was her first start of the season, so she's entitled to strip a touch fitter for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously Warren Fenton as well taking the £3 off, and she's a 3-time winner herself in 34 starts. She won here off of 59 back in July last season, so you know she's back down to that last winning mark, and that was a really solid return at Wetherby 16 days ago.
Tangen could definitely be an interesting runner for Tim Easterby and David Allen. Went down to Goodwood for her reappearance run, which is unlike Tim to send one all that way. It suggests that the run wasn't necessarily massively needed, but at the same time was out on the wing away from probably the best part of the track that day, and you could perhaps mark the effort up a touch.
Yeah, she's a 2-time winner overall from 12 starts. Both her wins have come on the all-weather. She's 0 from 9 on turf, but that was a solid enough return, wasn't it, at Goodwood? That was just 10 days ago, where she was ultimately beaten 2 3/4 lengths, so it was a solid enough return. You'd imagine that she could take a step forward from that latest run.
And Hover on the Wind comes into it in good form. Maybe if things had gone differently last time out, he'd have been arriving here on the back of a win. Yeah,
absolutely. He, again, is a horse that has the ability. He's 4 from 31 overall, but his latest 3rd-placed effort at Southwell could be marked up slightly because he had to just wait for the gaps to open, wait for a bit of room, but he finished his race off really strongly to be beaten just a neck. The second horse, Irish Dancer, won yesterday at Cattrick, so the form's had a bit of a boost, and I thought at around 17-2 he was certainly a solid each way selection.
And what about the chances of Sherlock? A good run when second at Thirsk last time out, back down to 5 here, but won over a stiff 5 at Newcastle back in February.
Yeah, he's won from 23 overall. His sole win came on the all-weather, his first try at sprinting at the minimum trip of 5 furlongs at Newcastle back in February. Excuses next time. He was then 4th at Southall and a good second, a solid return to turf at Thirsk. That was 24 days ago. He was just half a length behind Yes, I'm Marley. So he's another horse dropping back down to the minimum trip here today, but the stiff track should suit him.
OK, we've got 4 of them left to load forward, so let's get up to the commentary box and Malcolm Tomlinson.
Thank you very much, Chris. Tangen, he's in. Yeah, Dandy Dinmont about to come forward under Faye McManaman into stall number 4. Walks forward, goes in without a 3. Waiting for Sherlock, who's coming forward now into the 6 box. Miss Brazen is out of line, so too is Fuji Mountain. Dark Kestrel a little bit on his toes in stall number 9 as Miss Brazen goes in. Just waiting for Fuji Mountain to complete the lineup. A couple of stall handlers now going in to assist Cam Hardy on Dark Kestrel. I think all is well. Fuji Mountain about to come forward with the encouragement of the stall handlers. And just spinning around a little bit at the start. Fuji Mountain. Zach Wheatley on board. Half in, half out, nearly there. The rest are standing up well. He's in. That's it. They're all in. We're set to race. They're ready. And they're off, racing over 5 furlongs for the Annie Oxtoby Memorial Handicap Stakes. Fast start by Hover on the Wind out wide. Jojo Rabbit began well, also breaking well. Glory Hyde without flaw from the inside boxes. Settling down through the first furlong without flaw. The pale blue and yellow to the inside of Hover on the Wind in the white cheek pieces. Grey Horse out wide, Fuji Mountain. Tucked in behind them is Jojo Rabbit and the beige and brown, and deeper those Miss Brazen, the yellow jacket with the blue armlets. Glory Hyde centre pack in the black and red check. Tangen in the cross-belted jacket with that one. Sherlock's racing deep, looking towards the back. Dandy Dinmont's well back, will need some room, and Dark Kestrel is detached by 3 lengths from the main body of the field and already inside the final 2. Hover on the Wind, tackled by Fuji Mountain. Miss Brazen to the near side, powering home, also trying to pick up his Dandy Dinmont, but it's Miss Brazen who's hit the front inside the furlong. Miss Brazen by a length and a half. Dandy Dinmont is giving chase towards the near side, trying to wear down the leader, and Sherlock's beginning to come home quickly, so too Jojo Rabbit to the far side. Miss Brazen as they hit the line, it's going to be tight. Dandy Dinmont with Jojo Rabbit to the inside. Miss Brazen was still there behind them. Glory Hyde, Sherlock out wide, and then Dark Kestrel.
Well, a photo has officially been called, but Dandy Dinmont is going to be called your winner from Jojo Rabbit and Miss Brazen. Sherlock is 4th, and Glory Hyde, who got no run, was just shuffled back in behind without flaw, who came across quite early on and then just got shuffled back through the pack, and was always going to be difficult from that position for the favourite. But it's Dandy Dinmont with a clear shot down the outside that brings up a double for Nigel Tinkler. It has now been confirmed. Faye McManaman aboard this one.
Yeah, good day so far for the team, but Dandy Dinmont, a horse that had previously won 5 times, knows how to certainly get his head in front, and his previous win had come at Thirsk. That was back in August last season off a mark of 65, so he dropped £3 below that previous winning mark. And if we just follow his run through here, it got a little bit tight on the rail there when Miss Brazen just looked to her right, but this is where Dandy Dinmont starts to pick up, and picks up strongly as well. A double for the team on the day from the quick finishing Jojo Rabbit on the rail, and Miss Brazen looked like she'd sort of gone to win a race, but she just got swallowed it late on from Sherlock, who finished off well for